All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another Whoa video where we will be discussing Crash Bandicoot Anniversary Edition. Is it still relevant 20 years later? Let's do this. All right, so Crash Bandicoot, for those of you who didn't know, was an action/strategy platformer released in the late to mid-90s and featured the marsupial Crash, who's kind of like a combination of fox and weasel or maybe a ferret, all put together as he collects fruit and attempts to survive all these wacky and absurd levels. It was also developed by Activision Studios just before they hit their really big smash hit, the legendary Call of Duty franchise. Crash Bandicoot was sort of Activision's first real shot at success, and it was more than just a shot at success. A lot of people who played video games can actually trace some of their first memories or earliest memories playing the Crash Bandicoot franchise and its two other sequels released. Now, 20 years later, Activision is enjoying the success of Call of Duty and some of their other games and deciding that it now would be a great time to release a fourth game and revamp the original Insane Trilogy, which I am now playing for the first time. So unlike most people who will be able to play these games and have just a dose of nostalgia again, for me this is different because I'm playing it for the very first time. So I'm going to give you my impressions of playing the remastered Insane Trilogy. So first off, I did check out what some of the original games look like just so I could compare it and see if the revamped edition was really all that much better. And I have to say, although it's not quite as good as some of the other revamped games I've seen over the years, like Gears of War Remake looked absolutely fantastic and some others, this one is better for sure, but it's only marginally better. Yeah, the graphics are somewhat improved, and the soundtrack is definitely improved with its audio, but that's about the only real improvements I can see. Also, you do get about 2 or 3 new levels added, so if you're into that, yeah, this is pretty neat. And it's also nice being able to play the original trilogy on some of the latest consoles. You can get it for a PS5, Xbox Series S/X, or Nintendo Switch, depending on what you want to do. Now, as for the actual gameplay, I'll give you some of my impressions. This is precisely what I had expected. The Crash Bandicoot series is well known for being absurdly challenging to play and just getting harder and harder as it gets done, which is something I absolutely love. I will have to say, in some ways, this actually feels a little bit like Activision ripped off the Donkey Kong franchise just a little bit and just replaced the main character. Instead of bananas, now I'm grabbing mangoes everywhere. It's kind of hard to overlook that, but it's still pretty funny. But even with that, I have to say, Crash Bandicoot does manage to remain its own thing apart from Donkey Kong. Whereas Donkey Kong always was a 2D side-scrolling game, this game switches from 2D to 3D and does so quite seamlessly. I'll have to say that for the time being, this is pretty much ahead of its time. Absolute blast to play, really hard, and quite funny in some areas, which we can all enjoy. No multiplayer if you're into that. Crash Bandicoot series has never been known for that, but I just wanted to throw that out there in case you're wondering. Yeah, it's kid-friendly and all that, but there is no multiplayer, just letting you know that up front. So overall, I'd have to say, I spent roughly about an hour playing it. It's a blast to play. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And by the way, I'm not really what you would consider a retro gamer per se. I tend to enjoy a lot of the newer stuff. But even someone like me who didn't grow up playing these games has found this to be absolute blast to play, a breath of fresh air in a lot of respects, and I believe Activision made the right call by bringing this series back out again. Crash Bandicoot series is back, and I have to say, it truly is better than ever. Couldn't help yourself.